You've been told your entire life to be an open book. Be authentic. Speak your truth. Share your plans. Share your feelings. Let people know who you really are. It sounds noble, honest, even courageous. But pause for a moment and ask yourself something uncomfortable. How has that actually worked out for you? Think back carefully. Every time you announced a big plan before it happened. Every time you trusted someone with something personal. Every time you exposed a weakness hoping it would create connection. What happened next? Somehow the opportunity slipped away. The energy disappeared. Or worse, the very thing you revealed resurfaced later in a conversation you were never supposed to hear. A joke at your expense. A subtle dig. A quiet betrayal. A plan that collapsed before it even began. Strange, isn't it? You were taught that honesty makes you safe. Yet experience quietly teaches the opposite. In the real world, especially the world of ambition, influence, and power, information is currency. And the more people know about you, the more leverage they quietly accumulate. This isn't about paranoia. It's about pattern recognition. Human beings compete. They compare. They envy. They calculate. Sometimes consciously. Often unconsciously. And once someone sees where your armor is thin, they rarely forget it. This is something the Florentine strategist Niccolò Machiavelli understood centuries ago. While others spoke about how people should behave, Machiavelli studied how they actually behave when power is involved. His observations were uncomfortable, but brutally accurate. He noticed something about those who rose to the top of volatile political worlds. They were rarely the most transparent. They were the most disciplined with information. They appeared open but revealed very little. They seemed predictable, but their real intentions were always hidden behind a calm mask. Machiavelli wrote that successful leaders often project virtue while quietly preparing strategies that others would never expect. Not because they are evil, because they understand human nature. When people know too much about you, they gain the ability to anticipate you, influence you, slow you down, sometimes destroy what you are building before it has the chance to stand. And once you start seeing the world through this lens, a strange realization appears. Many of the problems people face are not caused by enemies. They are caused by oversharing with the wrong audience. So in this video, we are not simply talking about privacy. We are talking about psychological armor. 7 things that must remain protected if you want control over your direction, your reputation, and your future. These are not random secrets. They are strategic blind spots. And the people who understand them move through the world differently. Harder to predict. Harder to manipulate. Harder to stop. The first secret is one most people break without even realizing it. Your next move. The moment a new idea appears in your mind, a business concept, a career shift, a creative project, there is a powerful urge to tell someone. You want feedback, encouragement, a little validation. Maybe just someone saying, "That's a great idea." It feels harmless, even productive. But the moment your plan leaves your mind and enters someone else's ears, something subtle changes. Now the idea is exposed to other people's fears, their insecurities, their hidden competitiveness. Suddenly questions appear. Are you sure about that? That sounds risky. Maybe you should wait. At first it sounds like concern, support even. But listen closely. Doubt spreads quietly. And doubt is contagious. Sometimes the damage is even more direct. A rival now knows what direction you are moving. Someone with similar ambition suddenly accelerates. Someone who envies you quietly hopes you fail. Have you ever noticed how some ideas feel powerful in your mind but weak the moment you explain them to the wrong person? That's not coincidence. Young goals are fragile, like a flame exposed to the wind. Machiavelli observed that decisive moves are almost always made in silence. The loud announcement comes later, after the structure is already built. Think about the most formidable individuals you've encountered. The ones who seem to appear out of nowhere with results that shock everyone. They rarely broadcast their intention step by step. They disappear. They work. Then they return with outcomes nobody expected. Their silence wasn't inactivity. It was protection. Your ambitions deserve the same protection. Not everyone deserves access to your direction. Move quietly while the foundation is being laid. Let people see the walls only after they are impossible to tear down. Because once your success becomes visible, it's too late for anyone to sabotage the attempt. They can only react to the result. And that shift, from prediction to surprise, is where real strategic advantage begins. But plans are not the only thing that create leverage over you. There is something even more valuable to a manipulator. Something many people reveal freely without realizing the long-term cost. Your emotional weak points. Your fears. Your insecurities. The places where you quietly bleed. And this is where the game becomes far more psychological. Because the moment someone understands what destabilizes you, they gain the ability to control the pressure. The third secret you must guard is something most people carry quietly behind them: the ghost of their past. Your biggest failures. Your deepest regrets. The moments you wish had unfolded differently. People love stories about the past. They lean in when someone begins with "I once messed up badly," or "You won't believe what happened to me years ago." But pay attention to the energy in the room when those stories appear. Is it really admiration they're feeling? Or curiosity mixed with something darker? Sometimes people are not listening to understand your growth. They are listening for leverage. A reminder that you were once weak. That you once made a decision that shattered your confidence. That you can, under the right pressure, break again. The moment you reveal a major failure, you hand someone a snapshot of your lowest moment. And here is the dangerous part. People rarely update that image in their minds. Even if 10 years have passed. Even if you rebuilt your life completely. Even if you became someone stronger, sharper, and far more disciplined. To them, that old version of you becomes frozen in time. And sooner or later, someone may quietly reach for it. Maybe during a disagreement. Maybe when they feel threatened by your success. Maybe disguised as a joke. Remember when you almost lost everything? Didn't you fail at something like this before? A small comment. A subtle reminder. Suddenly the room shifts. Your authority weakens. Not because you failed, but because you gave someone the ability to resurrect that moment whenever it benefits them. This is why the most disciplined individuals treat their past differently. They do not broadcast it. They transform it privately. The mistake becomes a lesson. The regret becomes a source of quiet discipline. The failure becomes a personal contract. Never repeat the same weakness twice. Ask yourself something honestly. Do people really need access to your worst chapters in order to respect the man you are today? Or does revealing them sometimes shrink your presence in their eyes? Your past has power only when it is constantly reintroduced into the present. If you stop feeding that story, something interesting happens. People are forced to evaluate you based only on who you are now. No old labels. No old identities. Just your current presence. Your past becomes fuel, not a public narrative. You heal privately. You learn privately. And the world sees only the discipline that emerged from it. When a man carries himself like someone who has already faced his demons and moved beyond them, others sense it. They may not know the story, but they feel the weight of the transformation. And that silent transformation commands far more respect than any confession ever could. But there is another secret people reveal every day without realizing the strategic cost. It appears in casual conversations, friendly gatherings, even family dinners. One simple question opens the door. So how are things financially? And suddenly people start revealing numbers that should have remained invisible. Your financial reality, whether success or struggle, is one of the most dangerous pieces of information to expose. The moment people know how much you have or how little you have, the way they see you changes. If you reveal that you are doing well financially, something subtle awakens in the people around you. Sometimes it is admiration, but often it is something quieter. Envy. Envy rarely announces itself loudly. It simmers, especially among people who once saw themselves on the same level as you. Friends may begin to measure themselves against your success. Family members may suddenly approach you with small favors that slowly grow larger. Opportunities may appear, but not always for the right reasons. Some people begin orbiting around you not because they respect you, but because they see access to resources. And here is the trap. The moment you say yes too often, you become responsible for problems that were never yours to carry. But the moment you say no, the narrative flips. Suddenly you are selfish, arrogant, ungrateful. Your success becomes evidence against you. Now consider the opposite scenario. If people believe you are struggling financially, a different dynamic emerges. Respect quietly erodes. Opportunities disappear before they even reach you. People begin making decisions about your capabilities based on assumptions about your stability. Maybe he's not ready. Maybe he can't handle something bigger right now. Not out of cruelty, but perception. And perception shapes reality more than facts. This is why the most strategically minded individuals keep their financial situation deliberately unclear. They do not brag about wealth. They do not advertise struggle. They allow people to wonder. Because mystery protects you from two very destructive forces: envy and pity. When people cannot clearly categorize your financial position, they cannot easily weaponize it. They cannot resent you for success they cannot measure. They cannot look down on struggles they cannot see. Financial invisibility becomes a form of psychological armor. Your money, whether growing or rebuilding, is a private tool for freedom, not a public scoreboard. But perhaps the most sensitive secret of all hides even deeper. It lives in childhood memories, in family dynamics, in wounds that formed long before you understood the world. And once those are revealed to the wrong person, the consequences can follow you for years. The sixth secret is more subtle than most people realize. It concerns something people reveal constantly without thinking: their true opinions of others. What you genuinely think about colleagues, friends, rivals, superiors, or even yourself. Most people believe honesty means expressing those opinions openly, saying exactly what they think, showing clearly who they like and who they dislike. But in any real social hierarchy, whether in business, politics, or everyday life, this can become a serious strategic mistake. The moment you openly dislike someone, you create a clear target on your own back. A coworker who senses your contempt may quietly begin undermining you. A superior who notices your frustration may suddenly question your loyalty. Even people who agree with you today may repeat your words tomorrow when the political wind changes. And suddenly your honest opinion becomes evidence used against you. Silence, in these situations, is not weakness. It is positioning. A neutral face, a polite tone, a controlled reaction. These are not signs of submission. They are signs of awareness. When people cannot read your true feelings, they cannot easily predict your behavior. They cannot map your alliances. They cannot identify where to strike. Now consider the opposite side of the same trap: praise. Excessive admiration can be just as dangerous as open criticism. When someone constantly flatters a superior, the room notices. Instead of respect, it creates suspicion. People begin to see you as someone seeking approval rather than someone with real influence. And when praise flows too freely toward peers, something unexpected happens. Some people become complacent. Others become uncomfortable. A few may even start competing harder because they sense emotional imbalance. The smartest individuals understand something very important about social dynamics. Words reveal more about the speaker than about the target. Every strong opinion exposes your internal position, your preferences, your loyalties, your emotional triggers. Now here is where the game becomes even more psychological. The most powerful information you could reveal is not what you think about others but what you think about yourself. The moment someone hears you doubt your own abilities, a shift occurs in their perception. Even supportive people may unconsciously lower their expectations of you. A manipulator, however, sees something different. Opportunity. Self-doubt becomes a pressure point. They may question your judgment, challenge your decisions, slowly reshape your confidence until you start believing their version of you instead of your own. This is why disciplined individuals treat their internal thoughts as private intelligence. Not everything needs to be spoken. Not every reaction deserves a voice. When you remain calm and reserved, something interesting begins to happen. Silence creates space. And people hate empty space in conversations. They rush to fill it. They reveal their strategies, their frustrations, their fears, their alliances. Without realizing it, they begin telling you everything you need to know. Meanwhile, you remain difficult to read, hard to categorize, almost impossible to manipulate. Let people guess what you think. Their imagination will do the rest. And most of the time, their assumptions will expose far more about them than your words ever could. But even if you master silence, even if you guard your opinions, there is still one final secret that separates ordinary individuals from those who move through the world with real strategic advantage. It is the discipline of never revealing the full extent of your capabilities. In every competitive environment, people are constantly measuring each other, quietly calculating strengths and limits. Who is smarter? Who is faster? Who is more disciplined? Who can be ignored and who must be watched? Most people respond to this by trying to prove themselves immediately. They display their full intelligence, their full effort, their full capacity. They want recognition, validation, respect. But the moment you show your entire hand, something important disappears. Mystery. And once people fully understand your limits, they begin planning around them. A rival now knows exactly how much effort it takes to outperform you. A boss knows exactly how much work you can carry before exhaustion appears. A competitor knows precisely where your ceiling exists. But when someone underestimates you, the entire dynamic changes. If others believe you are less capable than you truly are, they relax. Their guard lowers. They stop monitoring your progress carefully. They assume you are not a threat. And that assumption creates space. Space to learn. Space to train. Space to build skills quietly while attention is focused elsewhere. History is filled with individuals who advanced this way. Not by announcing their strength, but by revealing it only when the moment demanded it. Quiet preparation. Silent discipline. Hidden development. Imagine the power of working for years on a skill nobody expects you to have. Reading. Studying. Practicing. Improving in private. No applause. No announcements. No social proof. Then one day the moment arrives. A challenge appears. A competition. An opportunity. And suddenly the version of you that others thought they understood no longer exists. Your performance seems almost shocking, as if it appeared overnight. But you know the truth. It was built slowly, carefully, invisibly. Your hidden potential is one of the most powerful advantages you can possess. Once people believe they have you fully figured out, they stop looking deeper. Let them think they understand your limits. Let them believe they've measured your capacity. And when the right moment arrives, let your actions quietly rewrite their entire understanding of who you are. Because the greatest victories are rarely announced in advance. They appear suddenly after the work has already been done.